Well, thanks for joining us. Dusty Sonnenberg, field leader with Ohio's Country Journal and the Ohio AgNet. We are on the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow. I am with Pat Hord today, Hord Farms, and we've been out talking about some of the different conservation practices, environmental stewardship things you guys do. Pat, before we get into that, though, we do want to highlight one of the reasons we're visiting you is because the livestock aspect and realizing that the number one customer of soybeans is the livestock industry, and obviously you guys have a vital role in that as well. Tell us a little bit about Hord Farms, sort of the livestock aspect, your crop production aspect, and some of the things you're doing environmentally.
Yeah, so we have we farm corn, soybeans, wheat, barley, forages, and different things related to that. It kind of interacts with our livestock side. We have cattle. We feed out cattle, and then we also have a swine operation, which is our largest enterprise. We have a network of partners that is in northern Ohio and some in Pennsylvania. So
you guys are grain farmers, and obviously a lot of that grain going to feed the livestock.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, there's a good interplay we have between our livestock and cropping operations. We use the manure efficiently and effectively to lower our crop fertilizer prices and fertilizer cost, and but also integrate cover crops and harvest them for cattle feed and those kind of things. So there's a symbiotic relationship between all those going on.
Well, stewardship is a big deal to you guys in a lot of different ways when it comes to animal husbandry, when it comes to working with the people on your team, but also as we see out here today when it comes to the environment and helping improve the environment. You guys are part of the H2 Ohio program. You guys do a lot of other practices to be sensitive to all that. Behind us here we have a cover crop seeder. Talk about some of the different practices you guys have put in place, and I guess why to you is that important?
Yeah, so it's obviously as part of our mission statement, it says that we want to be agricultural stewards, and we think a steward is something that's caretaking, doesn't necessarily own it, but you're caring for it, and we want to leave things in a better spot than what we've had it, and we also want to respond to the consumers' desires and how they like, and so we just think it's the right thing to do, to participate in those programs, to plant cover crops, to effectively utilize our manure. We think it's definitely an efficient way and in a way that we can handle it that enhances our crop production as well as is good for the environment.
Well, when we take a look at the environment, National Pork Board has done a lot of studies on things dealing with hog operations and the environmental impact, and a lot of positive findings there. And as we talked earlier, some of that can almost be pulled through back to the crop production side as well. Share some of those thoughts that you've seen, maybe some positive numbers come off of farms that you guys have had incorporated.
Yeah, so we've participated in the National Pork Board's program to evaluate the impact on carbon and greenhouse gases in our operations, and it's been pleasantly surprised when you look at the field aspect of whether that's minimum till, using cover crops, trying to balance the manure. There's credits there, and when you actually look at all that from a field aspect, our operations have been neutral to negative on that carbon sequestration. So it's been, I think there's been a lot of discussion about it, but very little like actual boots on the ground, put your arms around what's actually happening, and that's what I like about this program that the Pork Board is doing, and in conjunction with SEC, or Sustainable Environmental Consultants out of Iowa. And so they're working through these programs, and they're actually the boots on the ground agronomists trying to understand what our systems are and then applying that into a modeling and calculation. So it's been pretty well received, and it's actually companies are interested, food companies are they're like, hey, that's really interesting, tell us more. And so I think that we'll continue down that path of learning and growing and innovating in this space.
A lot of good things going on. Innovation, a good word, as the industry is definitely being an innovator and taking the lead. Again, this is the Ohio Field Leader Roadshow. We are at Hord Farms. I'm with Pat Hord. Pat, thanks for your time.
Thank you.